his category on Twitch, so I'm just gonna leave it as just chatting because D&D doesn't quite fit this. Because I don't think, do they even care about Gamma World? Gamma World. Alpha Mutation. Is that the full title of this? That would be banger if it was. No. It has no subtitle. Let me go and pull this up on screen. Again, I got the idea to do this through Zigmenthep. That is Zigmenthotep. He does this, but he knows more about D&D. I just think it's a cute little like process. It's a decent idea for a stream, and so we're gonna do that. All right, give you that screen region so you can actually see. So here's the art. It's guys with ray guns and bike helmets. It looks great. Good job, everyone. Let's zoom in and out a bit. Bet you I could zoom in on the actual main screen. This game is unique for a couple reasons. Notably that you basically just are screwed up to begin with, and there's not really anything you can do or say about it. You just are a mutant. You can try and limit how much of a mutant you are, but think of this as sort of like a Fallout sort of thing, where it's like everything's irradiated and all that jazz, because like Fallout legitimately got a lot of their ideas from this and GURPS. Oh my god. This book did come out when, by the way? 1978, so a full 10 years before I did. There may be some bad stuff in here. Gary Gygax Jr. He's not involved in this. Why are we calling him out? Also, why are we calling him out? I would say it's like more that this game got a lot of like, it inspired Fallout in a lot of ways, but it's that same sort of everything is screwed up because it's all like irradiated and stuff. Let's read the introduction. We get the actual thing. Man from Australopithecus africanus and Homo erectus and Homo sapien recans may have existed on Earth for hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of years. During this time, one skill, one particular talent has set them apart from every other creature, and it is the ability to conceive and create tools. Indeed, man has become defined as the tool-making animal. From chip rocks to polished bones to neutron bombs and computers, man has constantly been redesigning, improving, and realigning his tool. I forgot to tweet. Hold on. Making a Gamma World freak. First ed. Link in comments. Gamma World. Maybe just Fallout. Well, I'm not trying to message anyone. I'm trying to get a GIF. Fallout. Then twitch.tv. Or you can go to YouTube. Either way, whichever works for you. I did a breakdown the other day on the pay, and it's... ad money is better on YouTube, but you're probably not going to get served enough ads for it to actually ever matter. So Twitch is better as far as ads go. I have memberships set up on After Hours. I don't have them set up on the thing that I actually should, apparently, which is Ko-fi. So I should get on that, so that way people can actually, like, I don't know, do that. But yeah, just wherever is easier for you based on whatever like weird. I mean, Twitch just updated their app, so there's that. D&D maker escalate lawsuit against Gygax's son over trademark violations and racist RPG. What? Ernie Gygax was accused of making... Okay, well, let's... Wizards of the Coast, makers of Dungeons & Dragons, have asked a court to stop D&D co-creator Gary Gygax's son, Ernie, from using trademarks for TSR's Gygax company. Thank you for the 13 months of support, Jeffrey Eater King. And Star Frontier's new Genesis, including racist rules describing... Oh, yeah, it is a little racist. It's a lot racist. What's the transphobic stuff? Just here to say, we here at TSR think trans women are women, trans men are men, and trans lives matter. Stop trying to dodge the question. You are disgusting. Okay, so that's not great. So Gary Gygax is a different guy, though. This is his son, who does seem to be a loser. Unfortunate. He's a different Gygax. Yes, literally, and also jokingly. I did think Jeffrey Eater King. I did. Okay. Thank you, Jeffrey. Either way. I just want to make sure I'm on top of that. Let's see. From chipping rocks to polishing bones to neutron bombs and computers, man has constantly been redesigning, improving, and refining his tools to meet the ever-changing needs. Some have been toys for children, some have been improving lifestyle, others have been necessary for his survival, and a few nearly have caused his extinction. In the early 24th century, mankind's existence was unparalleled. The rape of the Earth's beauty and resources in the late 20th and early 21st century had been halted and reversed due to man's tools. Man had reached for the stars and attained them with the help of his tools. Yet, despite these tools, or perhaps because of him, the idyllic life of the 24th century came to an abrupt end. That makes more sense. All right, there we go. Having conquered the rigors of a simple survival. Oop. Have conquered the simple survival, man was able to turn his energies to more esoteric concerns: theology, political ideology, social and cultural identification, and the development of self-awareness. These pursuits were not harmful in of themselves, but soon became fashionable to identify them and support various leagues, organizations, and so-called special interest groups. With the passage of time, nearly all groups became polarized, and each expressing and impressing its views to a degree that bordered on fanaticism. Demonstrations, protests, and debates became the order of the day. Gradually, enthusiasm changed to mania, then to hatred of those who opposed their views. Outbreaks of violence became frequent, and terrorists spread their views with guns and bombs. Sometimes I wonder what a person who's been in a coma for 20 years, if like you went back in time, what would you tell like people? You'd probably just be like, listen, You know all the stuff that we always say, stop being assholes to each other and all that jazz? Anyway, we do that, okay? Because we're not doing that yet, and I think that you guys should do that. Like to go, oh yeah, there's going to be another technological revolution the world has not seen the likes of since the Industrial Revolution, and I sit on my computer, and which is like a device, and I talk to people. Imagine telling Karl Marx not to be racist. Yeah, Karl Marx has a couple problems with some of his books. In a lot of ways, I feel like that he didn't go far enough in, you know, his explanation of issues, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that he just didn't think of them, or whatever. But this is not the time to dissect that particular thought process. It's a good start. They had computers 20 years ago? Yeah, but they weren't like this good. You couldn't talk to someone on the other side of the planet with it. Oop. All right, let's see. I'm just going to skip before. Okay. The League of Free Men made no formal accusations, but 3 months later, on December 23rd, several hundreds known as autonomists were assassinated in separate locations. In addition, 3 main offices of the autonomists were targeted and released a newly developed nerve gas. The nerve gas was responsible for approximately 3,000 deaths. A majority of these which were autonomists. Okay, what is that? Small neutron bomb was detonated, killing most of the demonstrators. Rumors held opponents of the world government, a group known as the Autonomists, was responsible for the terrorism, but no one proved it. Okay, so we're just doing that. Oh my god, 20 years ago was 2004. Holy shit, that's fucked. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Stop making me realize the march of time. "20 years ago was the 1980s. And you could not convince me otherwise. I'm not almost 40. Twingmaster, shut the fuck up. Peoples of the world, you appear bent on okay. In the final moments of the Shadow Years, a new organization calling itself the Apocalypse announced its existence with the now famous ultimatum. People of the world, you appear to be bent on the destruction of civilization, has taken centuries to build, and the extension of life on Earth. It will be, if that is your will, so be it. We, the Apocalypse, demand the immediate cessation of insane violence, or we'll end it for you with force you cannot conceive. We have power. The choice is yours. Cool. Cool story. Okay, yeah, so then they just blew each other up. Okay. Again, due to a lack of records, we don't know how the Apocalypse base was discovered or who initiated the attack, but okay, so another terrorist group that's like, if you guys are going to keep fighting, then I'm just going to blow you up. And they're like, bet. So how to use this book. Gamma World is a role-playing game. One or more of its participants act as a referee. Interesting choice to make it, or more. I think that this game also came out so early into like the D&D style gameplay stuff that like the idea of they weren't really sure how to do the DMing thing. So they're like, yeah, you could have multiple DMs. That wasn't really a concept that was, I guess, investigated to any degree until like, I want to say fairly recently with like multi-DM campaigns where it's all taking place in like the same world and all that jazz. But they're, you know, not connected directly, and then they can run into each other and the parties can switch. 4 DMs, 1 player. It's interesting. The rules are rather lengthy, but it's actually quite simple. They provide a near endless multi-level science fantasy game that once begun need never end. The referee is a participant who is willing to provide the mental and physical labor of completing the game within the frameworks provided. He also presides over the actual play of the game itself. Instructions detailing the referee's tasks are given in material to follow. I want to scroll this up a bit. Players cannot begin the game until a referee has completed his design work. Once a referee has made the necessary preparations, the players can create their game personas called player characters, as described in the section called creating characters. After a character has been established, the player is responsible for keeping records of his character's attributes and possessions, as well as notes and maps concerning areas for which his character has explored. While these rules are a complete guideline for conducting a campaign, certain additional equipment is helpful for the play. Graph paper, hexagon paper, sheet protectors, notebooks, pencil and paper, and imagination, and 1 very patient referee, and then players. Okay. See, dice in Gamma World. Dice are used to determine many actions, activities, and in the event of the game, the dice rolling will be done. Most of the dice rolling will be done by the referee, some in secret, as the cause and/or results would be unknown by the characters involved. Various actions, reactions, activities, and events are specified in the rules and charts. The referee will note the list of probability of the dice rolled to generate the thing. The dice are used to generate random numbers with equal probabilities. Dice are 4, 6, 8, and 12, and 20-sided dice, your standard kit of D&D style dice. The first 4 types are abbreviated with the letter D in conjunction with the number of sides on the die. D4 is a 4-sided dice, etc., etc. Sure, okay. Example, to generate an equal probability curve for 1 to 18, simply roll 2d6. The first die rolled, okay, well, no, it's not really an equal probability curve, because you're more likely to roll 7 than 2 on 2d6, in that there is only one way to roll 2, and there's like 6 different ways to roll 7. Also, wait, 2d6 gets you to 18? Okay, example, to generate a equal probability curve for 1 to 18, simply roll 2d6. The first die rolled determines the base number that is added to the second die rolled on the given result. So if the first roll is 1 and 2, the base is 0. If the first die rolled is a 3 or 4, the base is 6. The first die roll is a 5 or 6. Hey, what the fuck are you talking about? If 2 1s are snake eyes, what are 2 2s and other numbers? You got boxcars, and that's about it. Additive multiplication. I don't understand what they're trying to say, and I hope that I don't have to. When several of the same number of dice will be rolled together, the number rolled together either singly and added is always given prior to the die abbreviation. Thus, 2d4 means 2 4-sided dice, 3d6 indicates 3d6, or 3 6-sided dice multiplies. Okay. Well, a linear curve generated that the midpoint on the line will be average of all numbers generated. It also indicates that there will, on any given roll, each integer has the exact same probability of occurring. If a 12-sided dice is rolled, a 1 is just likely to be rolled as any of the other numbers. If 2d6 are rolled, you're more likely to get a 6, 7, or 8, and will be scored than a 2, 3, 11, or 12, right? Because, again, there's only one way to roll a 2. One way to roll a 12. So you're probably not rolling snake eyes or boxcars. It's just basic thinking. Variation is minimized by adding more dice, so the bell shape of the probability curve grows more and more pronounced. Median number. Okay, you really don't need to go into this depth. Designing Gamma World. Layout and study the hex maps supplied with Gamma World. This is a journal outline map intended for a starting point for the referee. Scale of the hex is approximately 43.7 kilometers or 27.3 miles. Weird that it's not like an even 27 or 44 or something. Like, what's with that remainder? Are there any twinks in this? It's you can make your own character, so yes. Such additional maps would cover subjects like villages where people begin, settlements, their cities, villages, fortifications. First scenario. You want to have creating characters, finally. Character personae. 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 Also, what's the DM called? Referee. Interesting. Right. Because it's referee. At least it's not E-Dial. Fuck E-Dial. That was so... Okay. Each player must decide to choose either to play a pure strain human old, or mutated animal type character. The advantages and disadvantages of these three characters will be explained momentarily. Having selected the type of character you wishes to play, the player then rolls 3 6-sided dice to determine the relative strength of each of the 6 basic attributes: mental, physical, intelligence, blah blah blah. As a general rule, a roll of a 3 or 8 for a given attribute is a weak trait, or 3 to 8 is weak, 9 to 12 is average, and 13 to 18 is above average. Okay, yeah. Relative strengths of attributes can and most likely will change over the course of the campaign due to mutation, acquired experience, or some other method devised by the referee. It is desirable that few, if any, of the player characters' basic attributes be below average. Player characters represent the elite, and the desire and the initiative and the ability to venture outside the boundaries of the village, etc., etc. Yeah, this is something that I feel like that the Fatal guy didn't understand, that like people want to hear stories about like the biggest and the people that are the movers and shakers of the world, right? You don't want to hear a story about a guy who delouses people. Like, you want to hear a story about like the adventurer who is like a super cool wizard, you know? Like, yeah, should someone be able to swing their sword like 5 times in 6 seconds? Like, probably not. But like, imagine they're a super cool swords fighter. Like, they've trained their whole life for it. Like, and they're, you know, an expert. They're not just some guy. They're like a cool guy, right? Like, if you're getting a modifier, you're better than average or worse than average. So, you know, that's the fucking point of the game. So that's cool that they recognize that a full, like, I don't know, 10, 15 years before. Anyway. Six seconds is a long time. I mean, like, 5 good slashes. After determining the relative strength of different attributes, there's 2 different ways. First way is for a character to roll a single 4-sided die twice to determine the number of physical and mental mutations for each, and the mutations have been determined. Okay, so do we have like a page for this? Oh, okay. All right. Well, we could roll for it or we could decide. Would you like to let me explain what these things? You should see sparring videos. I know, I'm aware. I used to do kendo. Like I'm aware. Always roll for it? Okay. We have 3 options, so we can just roll a D3. So that's like a D6 dice roller. All right, so roll a D6 on a 1 or 2. It's the first thing. So it's a pure strain human. What is a pure strain human? As the name implies, a pure strain human, PSH, are human beings who possess no physical or mental mutations. The PSH character would be considered the weakest character type in Gamma World. Lack of even some common mutation. I mean, like, the whole fun is the fucking mutations. Can they be real? Like, I want to be fucked up. The lack of even some of the most common mutations found in other beings make them very vulnerable to physical and mental harm. Without the heightened sense of mutations, they often fail to perceive danger near them and the combat situations. So, interesting about the races here is that they're just like completely weird, like, fellas. Your race is how, like, biologically different from, like, human you are in this one, but it generally just says humans are all the same except for if you get a shit ton of like irradiation damage, and then you start becoming something else after a while. Like, okay, so that means that, like, if you want to be, like, I don't know, black, you can be in this universe, as opposed to like Fatal where black people don't exist. This game is generally better, but it was fairly convoluted, which is why I don't think it really caught on. Also, the aesthetic, I don't know as if it really... I don't know as if people are into the sci-fi thing as much. Just get a little bit of airflow, not a whole lot. One might think that a PSH character is doomed. However, PSH characters have more advantages that... Okay, so pure strain humans are direct descendant of the pre-2322 stock. The PSH characters with proper identification were always recognized by the pre-2322 robot units, and by the same... What are you doing? Don't chew on that. Hey. Hey, you. Boy. Hey. Boy. I'm looking right... Boy! You come here. I'm gonna get you. Grab. Alright. Why are you foofing? Why are you biting stuff? You don't need to do that. Gamma World, but function remains okay. Mutated animals. Players electing to play a mutated animal character should first select a basic animal stock. Keep that in mind with the relative advantages and strengths of that species. For this game, you would choose something. Wow, okay. Does Rev have the gamer dent? I have a little bit with my, like, hair. It does the little dent, so I have to, like, comb my hair back if I stand up, so I don't look like a piece of shit. Also, I need to get, like, a piece of paper out, but instead of doing that, I'm just going to use a notepad. He's immediately doing it again. I mean, I guess it's not... It's like a strap for their bag, but, like, I don't know why he's doing it. Like, he's causing problems on purpose, and I'm not sure why. He's been kind of, like, weird the last, like, couple days. Again, not sure what his problem is recently, but... okay, cool. All right. Name, we don't know. Race, we don't know. Take him to a vet. He doesn't need to go to a vet. He's just acting like a weirdo. He does that sometimes. He's a cat. All right. I'm gonna re-roll it and try and go for a humanoid or mutated animal because I don't like that answer. So again, it'll be 1 through 3 will be humanoid, and 4 through 6 is mutated animal. 4. Okay, so we're going to be a mutated animal now. Players electing to play a mutated animal character should first choose a basic animal stock, keeping in mind that the relative advantages and strengths of that particular species. For this game purposes, the selected animal will initially possess the equivalent intelligence of a human, but does not necessarily count as a mutation and should not be confused with the mental mutation heightened intelligence, which is additional intelligence beyond that of the basic die roll of those attributes. Having selected the basic animal type, players determine the basic attributes and mutations in the same manner as humanoids. Any mutated animal type, the referee must determine the character will function within a group of humans and pure strain humans, determining whether or not the mutated animal character is capable of speech, and the use of paws, hooves, fins as hands, and so forth should be made logically and reasonably as possible before the start of the game, prevent later arguments as to the player's abilities. In no case will mutated animals be able to command robotic units or pass any type of security check, though the possibility of reprogramming such units is left to the referee's discretion. So mental strength, we have multiple stats. It goes over the stats somewhere. All right. Roll a single 4-sided die. Okay, you're talking about math again. To increase the player's chances of rolling an exceptional character, the referee will find it advisable to use the following method. For each basic attribute, the player will roll 4 dice, but totals only the highest 3. Okay, cool. So that's going to be our way of doing this. So 4 dice, and we are, what was it, a mutated animal. What kind of animal am I, Chad? I don't know if there are options. Like, I guess I should check that. Are there options for what a mutated animal will be? Plant-vegetable mutations, what? I love them. Okay, so we got like random animals. I was kind of hoping for like, what in the fuck is that? Jesus Christ. Map of a ship? Maybe? Hopefully. Okay, so yeah, that's it. All right, anyone have a recommendation on what animal I should be? Because I don't see any, like, pick something kind of basic, like bug or lizard or something. I don't actually know how you're supposed to do the stats for a fella. Like, how will I guess you just pick one and then there's no like stat adjustments for that. Use a generator? I'm not even sure how to get a generator like that. Use Split Gear's random animal generator. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. And yeah, we could use a D12. Cool. All right. D12 it is then. 10. All right, 10. One, they're all labeled. We are going to be a jackal. Sure. That sounds very appropriate for the wastelands. All right. Now let's roll some stats. So the first stat we need to roll for is mental strength. So you take the best of them and we drop the lowest. So that's going to be 15 is our stat. All right. Mental strength. And we got 15. Because we're doing the roll for drop the lowest to have like good stats. Intelligence. Let's get all of them written down. Dex, Charisma. Constitution, physical strength. Physical strength. Okay. Is Tibet the Fox the one with the fucked up face? That looks like a regular fox that got its, like, face stung by bees. All right. Intelligence. Ooh, that was not a great roll. 12. Okay. Again, we get a pretty piss poor roll, so 14. It looks up like fucked up taxidermy. Yeah, it does. 16. I'm a very charismatic fella. 11 on Constitution, though. And a 8. Oh my god, that's a 7 on physical strength. That's really bad. So we're a nice guy. We're just kind of puny. 16 because I dropped the lowest, which was 18, and the lowest was 2. All right, so strength. Mental strength. The ability to control offensively and defensively psionic energies and powers. Case of possessing no mental mutations, such as pure strain. Humans' mental strength rating is used for determining defense during mental attacks for characters and creatures with mental mutations. Okay, so wizard, like, psychic stuff. Does our character have hands? No idea. You can generate a character without hands, I guess. All right. Character's intelligence, his intellect, his reasoning power, and so forth. This power is important when trying to determine the operation of artifacts. See the section on artifact use. Artifacts here are probably just like TVs and computers and stuff. Dex indicates the speed at which a player is able to function. When a being with a dexterity rating of 16 encounters a being of 10, the being with dex of 16 will have the first choice of actions in combat situations to have the first strike and so forth. For each point of dexterity over 15, the character adds 1 point to the dice when trying to hit a target in physical combat. Okay? So, like, getting above 15 is really hard on 3d6. Slightly less hard on 4d6. Because the average of 3d6 is like 11-ish, 10 and a half. Can you draw your character in MS Paint? Yes. Yes, I will. But we're about to do some mutations to him, so I don't really want to draw too much. But we can draw a little bit. So a jackal. It's just a coyote, honestly. Like, yeah, it's just a coyote. I say wait until it's done. I mean, we know basically that it's gonna be like fella shaped, right? So we can just draw like the head and the nose and such, and then we can maybe like make it more specific later. And they got big old ears because desert. And we got the back of the ear and the back of the ear. And what did I just step into? D&D. Give him a fat ass. We haven't rolled for his fat ass yet. He has a low constitution, though. Sorry for contributing to the... Oh, you're totally fine, Shadow Wolf. I wanted to make sure that we actually got... I was doing it right. Let's do some, like, shadows under his eyes. So that way we know his constitution is low. We are not doing the weird, his ass is not fat with that constitution. Yeah, you cannot have fat constitution or a good constitution score and a fat ass. Try that again one more time. You cannot have a good ass and a poor con save. So he can't be jacked or anything. He's just got to be like regular. So just like fella. You know what? Why am I drawing his body? We don't know what his body is going to look like yet. He's a bit of a twink. Charisma affects the ability for people to encourage people. For example, a group of Gamma World adventurers lost in the wilderness encounters a small group of nomadic tribesmen. If Urk of Mearshire, a Charisma 4, asks for directions, the referee should allow only a very small chance the tribesmen will help in a favorable manner. A good referee might allow the tribesmen to direct the adventurers to a nearby swamp or similar unpleasant locale. On the other hand, if Arthur Ponddragon, Charisma 16, asks the tribesmen, will probably help when they can. When a non-player character or creature is encountered, roll 2d6 and roll on this table here. Okay, a little weird to have that table here, but all right. If I made my own tabletop game, what would it be like? Town of Nowhere or March of the Mice? And I did that because those two. Let's see. The player's charisma also affects the reaction of the die roll. Yeah, you're good. Number of followers you can have. So he can have followers. He's got 16. So that means he can have a maximum of 8 followers. Damn. Who serve the player out of loyalty rather than pay. All right. Oh, we're mutated, so we got some problems. Charisma table assumes 2 things that the player can communicate and with non-player characters or creature that are understood. Non-player character type. Okay, so we don't have to roll on that. Constitution, the amount of physical damage character can withstand from wounds and poison, etc. Constitution rating is first used to determine the number of hit points, a numerical expression of the amount of injury measured in points a character can sustain before death. Hit points are determined by rolling a number of 6-sided dice equal to the Constitution rating. For example, if you have a Constitution of 13, you would roll 13d6. That makes sense. All right. What was our Constitution again? It was like 6? 11. Okay. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Roll. Roll a 42. We actually rolled pretty hot there. We got 2 6s and like the lowest we got was 2s. It's not great, but okay. HP, and I've already forgotten 42. What's the average of that? 3.5 times 11, so 35. No, actually, it's pretty close, isn't it? Because 38. Okay, so I mean, we didn't roll that hot, just a little bit better than average. Physical strength, each point over 15, you get extra bonus. What happens if you're each point under? No? Okay. Non-player characters are creatures you found in the thing. The player characters themselves must be created and then determined by the referee. Some of the more common creatures listed under encounters, but the referee can generate more. By doing so, the referee makes the game unique and greatly increases the challenge of the players by offering more unexpected unknowns. Non-player character creatures are encountered. Okay. It said something about mutations. Using this method, the character may or may not choose to have mutation effects depending on the dice roll. Okay. Roll a single four-sided die twice for a number of physical and mental mutations.
What is that? It's the unknown.
Okay. So, how many physical mutations do we have? 4. Nice. I'm gonna write that down. And you can get more as you play, which is great. Physical mutations. I don't know why that was so hard for me to write. And mental mutations. 4, and roll this while I pull this up. 1. Okay. So not many mental mutations, but 4 physical mutations, which kind of goes in line. Like we have our shit together mentally, just physically we don't. I'm gonna go ahead and clean out my water because it kind of tastes like soap. Can you mutate for a fatter ass? Mind of a man, body of a jackal. All right, I will be right back. Give me like 2 minutes, because I'll go ahead and go to the bathroom right now anyway. 2 minutes, BRB. Music, music. BRB. All right, I'm back. Did I actually remember to run ads? The music stopped, so I've been gone for way too long. Sorry about that. And the music didn't. Oh, I missed the cat redeem. What's your name? Silly Rosemary. Silly Rosemary loves you, kitties. They're down getting food. I think that's why Herman was back like a butt. All right, so physical and mental mutations for humanoids and animals are listed in the chart form. When using the random mutation selection, the chance of each occurrence is given for a mutation along with a percentile. Detailed descriptions of the mutations are in the text that follows. A D indicates that is a defect. Okay, so we roll on this table. Are these the... Okay, these are the physical ones. So we have 4 of these. All right, so I guess we roll a D100? Is that... I mean, that would be my bet. All right, so the left one, we've already rolled 2 dice. I haven't checked the results yet, but the left one will be the hundreds place, or the tens place, and the right one will be the ones place. So 58. 58% is photosynthetic skin. All right. Figure out what the fuck that means in a minute. It's not bad. It's a weird RPG, but it's not fatal weird. Next one, 49. New body, no. No resistance to poison. This is a defect. No resistance for poison. Poison. 2 more. 30 is heightened taste. Sure. I haven't rolled for his fetish yet. 48. No resistance to bacteria. It might explain a lot of our problems. Okay. Let's find out what photosynthetic skin is. Allows a mutant to produce its own food in sunlight or equivalent. Such mutants may also heal lost hit points 4 times as fast as normal if they spend most of their time basking in the sun without moving. Mutants with a photosynthetic skin suffer 1 extra point per die of damage from heat and cold attacks and move at half speed in periods of darkness. Okay, so it's like kind of a debuff, but like you just kind of lounge around. I mean, that's kind of based actually. I would fucking do that. Just sleep at night and lie around in the sun all day. Heal up. All right. No resistance to what about the no resistance to fucking anything? No resistance to poison. Exposure to poison will kill this mutant unless if the appropriate antidote is quickly administered. No resistance to bacteria. This mutant will, with this defect, will have little to no resistance to sickness, making infection or sickness a serious thing. It is necessary to... This character has no immune system. They have AIDS. A cut from a dirty sword could cause blood poisoning. It's like not me trying to make a joke about AIDS. I think that's what this role is. A cut from a dirty sword may cause blood poisoning. A scratch from the claws of certain meat-eating creatures may cause serious infection. Or simple cold caught by any tribesman may turn into pneumonia. All 3 examples would cause up to 10 points of damage per day and are very hard to cure. Okay, so that's not ideal. Hi, Abby. Hi. I'm here. Your brother's downstairs, where you left him. Your mom's at work. Okay. And then we have 1 mental mutation. So let's figure out what's wrong with us. 41. Is an animal that makes it so that way we have heightened intelligence. Not to be confused with the fact that we can just speak. But heightened intelligence does what to us? Heightened intelligence. Add 4 to the mutant's mental resistance rating, not exceeding 18, and subtract 2 from die rolls when this mutant is trying to figure out an artifact. Okay. Plus 4 to mental resistance rating. Okay, cool. What are some of these other ones? Complete mental block. The complete inability for the mutant to see or even come near one of the following types of things or creatures: robot, technological, non-robotic, plant, or animal. This mutant is able to operate logically in the presence of his block, but he cannot see or touch or even be aware of attacks. What the fuck? So just like if he didn't understand plants, it would just be like, man, sure could use something to eat. It's like, well, why don't you eat some lettuce? What the fuck is that? Empathy. Can force non-intelligence creatures to... Oh, okay, cool. You can see what they're feeling and force them to do things. Hostility field. This repugnant unconscious field set up 30-meter radius around this mutant. Any being with this intelligence of 16 or less, friend or foe, will have a 20% chance of wanting to attack the mutant on encountering on the field. Imagine you're just walking around and you're just like, oh man, I fucking hate this guy. Who? I don't know, but he's around here somewhere. And then you turn a corner and there he is. And it's just like, guys, we got to beat this guy up. Just fuck this guy. Amazing. All right. Time manipulation field. All right. You can. What is this? I don't have it, but I'm just curious. Ability to travel or send objects through the currents of time. Use this mutation requires an intelligence of 18 and a heightened intelligence on part of the mutant. I.e., this is very rare. The mutant does not have both. Roll for another mutation. The ability to send objects through time varies. So you really got to roll hot. But that's pretty fucking cool. And then you got a percentage chance of success based on how far into the future or past you want to go. I mean, that is fucking insane. Total healing allows the mutant to heal all of their lost hit points up to 4 times a week, once per 24-hour period. Weather manipulation. And fuck with the weather. Yeah, that. Plant and vegetable mutations. We're not one of those, so we don't need that. All right. What about our equipment and shit? Wait. Like, now what? Like, we're not done, right? That's it? What? Low fertility. Oh, it's one of the plant ones. Thank fuck. I'm so used to fatal. All right. Root movement. One such moves represents about 4 hours of action in the game. Game time, not real time. It's possible for a large number of these moves to play weeks or even months in Gamma World in a single session. The amount of ground covered is going to depend on vary from 1 to 10 kilometers depending on the terrain and character movement speed. The referee should keep these rates in mind when deciding on the scale of his traveling map. Referee, I mean, there you go. So in order to do exactly what we did in the Fatal stream, if you want to walk somewhere in this game, you just do combat round. Each round of combat lasts 10 seconds. Movement during this time is generally not a factor of importance. The ability to perform small movements, both offensively and defensively during hand-to-hand combat, is determined by the character's experience, and dexterity is subsumed in combat matrices, that is, giving bonuses to be added or subtracted from the player's to hit dice during combat resolution. Okay, so let's do and we're mugged on our way. By a goblin or some sort of goblin equivalent. Okay. So you want us to have like a hex grid for this? Okay. Oh, there's matrices. All right, creatures. What are these fellas? I want to fight one of them. A batter. Badgeroid species. All right, we're gonna fight 3 batters, which are badgeroid mutants that inhabit cool or temperate zones. They're approximately 1.5 meters tall. Batters are organized into a society equal to that of a medieval period in human history. Their all evil disposition will destroy other intelligent life forms, even if given the chance. Bladders live in earthen burrow complexes, though they'll sometimes be found in. Well, we should probably roll up some like fellas, right? Because we have 8 fellows following us, and fighting some batters might be hard. So, how do we do that quickly? I mean, I guess that's my max. 8 chatters. Can they have mutations too? For example, if an adventurer walks into a doorway of a ruin and is killed for no apparent reasons, there's no way for the players to avoid similar fate. Suppose the player approaches a doorway in a ruin, sees a blinking light over a small slot in the door, walks through the door anyway, and is killed by no apparent means. The blinking light goes out. Surviving players will assume that the blinking light is some sort of warning device and will avoid such doorways in the future, perhaps trying to find some other way to enter. If one of the survivors should later find a plastic card that looks like it might try to go into the slot, then the light goes out and he enters unharmed. Voila. Thus, a problem that has been overcome through the use of reasoning. So yeah, they're basically just like, don't insta-kill your players. It'll piss them off. Good rule. Density control. What the fuck? Directional sense, dual brain. Has 2 brains. I love the idea of a hostility field where it's just like everyone fucking hates you. Just like by nature of your existence. Like you irradiate like just a fuck this guy energy. All right, so maybe okay, so first off, let's name our guy because he doesn't have a name. He has no resistance to poison. He has heightened taste and no resistance to bacteria, and he has photosynthetic skin, but he is also a mutated jackal man. He has heightened intelligence, which gives him a +4 to mental resistance rating. Sicky Joe? Sure. Sicky Joe it is. All right. All right. And then we're going to make another... let's make another 2 characters for the sake of having a chance at combat against these badgers. I think I got the general vibe so far. So let's roll on the table on if we're going to be pure strain or regular. So D3 for this. So 1 and 2 is normal. 5 and 6 is another animal. Okay. Animal. Give me another animal that we're going to be. Worm was the first one I saw. All right, worm it is. Physical mutations. First stat is, oh my god, a 9. 9 mental strength. Intelligence of 11, or 12, excuse me. Uh, 13, whatever that stat is. Dexterity. Charisma of 9. Constitution of 11. This guy rolled horribly. And then last stat is physical strength, which we rolled an amazing 13 on. All right, physical mutations 2 and mental mutations 1. You're boring, man. 2 and 1. For constitution, we have 11, which means that we can take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Roll 27. So many ones. We have the same constitution as Sicky Joe and just fucked up. Make up a guy. I like that. Physical mutations. Oh, let's get a random animal again. Oh no, we already got one. We got the worm. All right. Physical mutations. We are an animal again, so we're gonna use a D100. $72 is skin structure change. Bad. Okay. And 35. Hemophilia. Great. This guy sucks. Luckily, he's just our follower. Hemophilia. Once this mutant has even lost 1 hit point, he begins to bleed, losing an extra 2 hit points per melee round until he has time to stop and bind his wounds. All right, and then skin structure change, which is the skin of this mutant has changed for the worse. Sometimes thin skin add 1 point of die damage each time damage is done. A sustained water soluble skin. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different things. So let's roll a d4 to see what's wrong with him. 2. Thin skin, add 1 point of extra damage. Water soluble skin. That's going to be very difficult to deal with. And then 1 mental mutation. Let's go to that page. Amazing, a 100. Pick any mutation. Okay, so like we can't pick like some of the cool ones, but we got like the banger result. Oh god, there's so many options. I'm gonna re-roll, and if it's bad, I'll just choose a different one. 44. Hostility field. I mean, it's funny, but like if we get to pick, we probably shouldn't pick that one, right? The worm that pisses you. Okay, for the meme, we'll choose what was it called? Hostility field. All right, what are we calling this worm man? Flimsy Steve. All right, let's do one more. So that way we can have maybe a chance in combat against a couple of actual enemies. So we're gonna roll again. If we get animal again, I'm gonna re-roll just because I want to see something that's not an animal. You know what? Why don't we go with a basic bitch humanoid? Can you try a mutated plant? I don't think they have stats for how to do that. All right, so humanoids are still human. Outwardly physical mutations possessing poor IDs will usually be recognized by all but the most. Okay, so you can pass off being human. How are you even a party? Well, okay, so like Sicky Joe is like he's cool, man. He's cool with everybody. So like it's not an issue for him. So 13. So it's interesting that like your race only affects what mutations you have access to. It doesn't say like you're evil. It doesn't say you're good. It just says you are able to get the ability to be water soluble or not. 15. Charisma of Jesus shit. All right. 8. Constitution of 20 minus 4 would be 16. That's pretty good. And physical strength of 11. Dropping the lowest dice. All right. And then we've got a constitution of 16. So there's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Re-roll. And we got a HP of 51. Welcome to the team tank. We'll roll up a plant as well. All right. So humanoid. Physical mutations. How many do I mean? It feels very snappy to get a character going in this, especially in comparison to Fatal. We've generated almost 3 at this point, and we've only been doing this for like a few minutes, so it's like pretty fucking solid. I'll be real. How good the? All right, see you, man. All right, physical and mental mutations. How many do we have? Physical 4, mental 4. Oh, there's something wrong with this fucker. Let's go. All right. Like this game seems like all right, but I mean honestly, I'm going entirely based on the fact that it didn't take me 10 hours to set up a character. 84. 84 is on this side. Total carapace. Okay. This is our human. 15. I think. Yeah, it would be 15. So 15 is gas generation musk. Okay. Stinky boy. That would be a 10? Because that's a 0 and that's a 1. Oh, wait, no, the last one wouldn't have been 15. It would have been 5. Chameleon powers. Okay. That's pretty awesome. And then we just rolled a 1 and a 0, so that would be 10, which is double physical pain. Okay, that one's not good. And 77. Sonic attack ability. All right, so real quickly, what are those? So we have chameleon powers. Ability to change the body color in order to blend in with the surroundings. The color change will be almost instantaneous once changed. The mutant needs to not concentrate on the colors desired. It is left to the referee to determine the effectiveness of this mutation in any given situation. That's kind of useless. This came out 4 years after D&D. Like the first edition of D&D, I take it. Total Carapace. Oh, here's Sonic attack ability. This is the power to generate high-frequency sound waves that are damaging to exposed tissues at a short range. The damage amounts to 3d6 and is not selective. All beings within a radius of 10 meters are effective, and the dice are rolled once, and each suffering that amount. Okay. Total Carapace. Total Carapace is a thick shell that covers the entire body of the mutant, reduces all damage done to the mutant by half, and raises the armor class to 4. The shell is cumbersome and therefore reduces the movement rate by 1/4. Okay. Okay. And then lastly, we had, what was the name of it? Double physical pain. Double damage. Okay. Half damage, but double damage. So all that did was reduce our speed by 25% and raise our armor by 4. Okay. We haven't really gotten into how speed works, but okay. I mean, good thing we rolled that. All right. And then mental mutations, we also get 4 of those. 60, which would be a mental control over physical state. That sounds awesome. Mental control over physical state. And 19? No, 9. De-evolution. That sounds bad. It doesn't have a D next to it. De-evolution. This isn't a mental stat. 95 for our will force. Okay. And lastly, 39, which is Heightened intelligence. Okay. What is de-evolution, do you think? Let's find out. De-evolution. This is the power to strip abilities from mutant opponent by regressing it along ancestral lines. This power works, treated as a mental attack, begins by taking away permanently the opponent's greatest special ability, referee's choice. On every subsequent melee turn, another special ability is removed. Holy fuck, that's awesome. Return to bacteria. We can cure Flimsy Steve. Power lasts the duration of one round of combat situation, however long that may take. So actually, no, wait. Okay, so you go back to normal after a bit. It's temporary, Steve. I'm sorry. Will of Force. Use this ability to sheer force of will to double any one of the mutant's abilities. It can be used in conjunction with any other power, or may be used to add 1 point of the mutants to hit die rolls. Okay. Then mental control over physical state. This ability to unconsciously disregard things such as pain warnings and override problems such as blood loss or fatigue for up to 1 full day. This enables the mutant to heal wounds 4 times as fast as normal. In situations of overwhelming danger, the mutant will have double his normal strength, dexterity, and speed for 5 to 50 melee turns. 5d10. This mutation can only be... So it's action surge. All right. What are we calling this guy? Disregard double pain. Could de-evolve your... I mean, I guess you start removing all of their buffs. Hefty Harry? Hefty Henry. Hank Kill? Oh, that is good. And then, can we generate a plant? Is that like a thing that we can do without a whole lot of problems? The plant is just an inventory item. Yeah, I don't think you can be a plant. All right. Let's see what we can do with this. All right, so our adventurers are walking along. They're walking from where they're at, their hometown or whatever. They're on their way to another town to buy some stuff at the shop. It's like basic bitch D&D kind of stuff, and we're going to see what it can actually do. So on our way to that place, we run into some batters. We get 3 to 18 appearing, which means that we want to use 3d6 to see how many there are. There are 10. Okay. There are 10 batters appearing. Give me half a second. Tabletop sim, you are my friend. Are you giving them items first? I actually have no idea how to do that. Okay, there we go. Create single player. Yeah, this is fine. All right, games, no. Objects, tables, rectangle. All right. And then let's just like components, figures, maybe like RPG kit. All right, heroes. We got the worm, we got the regular guy. Okay, why don't we do this guy as Hank Kill? Animals. Barghast, sure. Can we keep the worm fella in a waterproof bag? Sure. Okay. This will be the worm guy. What was Flimsy Steve? And then, villains. I need like a knoll. Or something. Mythological. Werewolf. That's close enough. Yeah, that can be it. And I believe there's an option for a grid. Give us some hexagons, show lines, and then make them slightly bigger. Okay, there we go. All right, toggles, snap, not grid points, but snap. Grid? Oh, the grid doesn't have snap points yet because it didn't turn on the grid snap points. Snapping center. Okay, so. Okay, cool. All right, how many did we roll again? 10 batters. That is a lot of fellas. And then Sicky Joe. All right, we're walking down the street just trying to have a good day, and then these batters come upon us, and they're like, I fucking hate that worm for no goddamn reason. Fuck that guy. Like, they're just like a traveling caravan of badger people. And so now we're in combat, I guess. And we'll just treat it as if there's like no cover because I don't know how to actually do any of this shit. We're probably gonna lose this fight because it's like we're horribly outmanned. What can you tell us about combat, game? All right. A batter has 4 armor class and 12 movement. Okay, so let me actually move that to somewhere I can see it. Okay. 6 hit dice. Okay. Wait, hold up. So we just roll d6 for the health? I guess? Okay, whenever a players are traveling through large areas of uncharted terrain at route movement, the referee must check the random encounter once per each day and night. He does this by rolling a single 6-sided die, and a roll of 6 indicates an encounter. We'll just pretend that we rolled that. On a quest of cure Flimsy Steve. We're gonna go to town, and there's a guy in town who can do that. I guess we're supposed to roll on this chart, but a batter seems like a decent enemy to fight. They might be too difficult. Oh well. Roll a 20-sided die. Okay, fuck it. We'll roll a 20-sided die. 8. Brutors. What is a Brutors? Number appearing 1. Brutors is a muscular... These Neopercheons, mutated horses... Fucking murder horse? Okay. I don't know what to use to represent that. Animals. We'll use a bear. We could use like a minotaur, maybe. You think there is like one? There's gotta be, right? Centaur. That's like a horse. All right, we got our centaur. Do you have boobs, dude? Nice. He does. All right, we got a horse guy. And we're just going to say it's one of them because it's not a wild herd. Movement 18, armor class 7. Brute Ors. It has 14 health dice, which it hasn't defined. I'm assuming, just like player characters, this would be D6s. So we're just gonna... it's 4, 5... What did I say? Okay. And then don't snap, because that's weird. Okay. $37. All right. It's 37 health. $37 out of 37 health. Armor class 7. Movement 18. Standing at well over 2 meters high at the shoulder, Brutors are powerfully muscled and very broad. Mutant horses are quite intelligent with a mental strength of 12. Okay. Mental 12. In addition to their great size and strength and intelligence, particular to partial PSH individuals, in addition to their own great size, they're known for their agility and their bulk, 1,000 kilograms, and all have precognition. In combat, these creatures can deliver stunning kicks, 2d6 of damage per forehoof, or vicious bite for 3d6 of damage. Well fed and treated with respect, Brutors are quite willing to serve as a mount for humans and humanoids. They all have precognition, which I assume is a mental ability that we would have read about in the mental section had we read over all the things. Precognition. Those are the plant ones. Pyrokinesis. Precognition. The ability to sense danger in situations. Mutant will have this power. It's selective for 3 minutes in the future. Requires concentration for it to work for existence. A mutant is about to open a door. He can use precognition to see what would happen if you did. It's perfectly legal to change the course of history by acting on such information and not open the door if you know there's going to be an ambush. If a mutant with precognition foresees damage about to be done to his own body, the shock to his own nerve system is such that he receives 1 die, d6 of damage immediately. If the mutant should foresee his own death, immediately do 2d6. Okay, well that doesn't really do anything in a fight. Oh hey, I got a raid. Who raided me? It doesn't tell me. Well, hello, raiders. Nova, thank you for the raid. Preemptive self-damage, or you can avoid attacks, I guess. Maybe we should start further back from each other. I don't know how fast you move in this game. I assume 1 square is like 1 movement, so his movement of 18 means he could move 18 spots. How do we know what his stats are? Okay. Armor class is representing the ability of an object or creature to withstand... Well, do we get weapons? Lower number is better for armor class. Oh, I see. So big numbers are actually bad. Armor class 7 is worse. So armor class 10 is no protection. Armor class 1 is assault armor. Four is like plastic metal armors, which is what I believe Hank Kill has. It's like old D&D. Okay, so let's figure out how this works. Weapon class goes the opposite way. Class 1 is like clubs and stuff like that. You get up to like vibro weapons by like class 4 and 5. Class 8 is grenades. Class 16 is fusion rifles, micro missiles, and mini missiles. Use of the attack matrices. So I guess I just roll up a player character stats for this creature? How? It has a table for discovering weapons and shit. Maybe we should have our characters all discover an item. Including the fella. Various artifacts and equipments in the past in differing states and repair will be found amongst the ruins of the former civilizations of Gamma World. Referees encouraged to give players a healthy mix of 24th century versions of such items as toasters, typewriters, lawnmowers, etc. And remember that the characters of the players probably have no idea what most of these items are or what they do. When the player characters find an artifact, the referee should carefully word his description of the artifact or object and give them a sketch if the object is unidentifiable to their 20th century minds, bearing in mind their ignorance of technology in the past. Okay. What in the actual fucking shit is this? Look at this. What? Okay, roll. On a D100. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna just go in order. We got we'll go in order that we generated our characters. So that starts with Sicky Joe. So Sicky Joe is gonna roll 2 D10s to try and figure out what the thing is. 76. So 76, we don't need the random animal generator anymore, is going to be a miscellaneous energy device, which we can roll on this chart then, which is a D12. A 12, which is a energy cell charger. No explanation of what the fuck that is. And then artifact conditions will be found in different various conditions due to their disuse or whatever. Immediately roll the thing. So roll 2d6. 1 6. So 7. It's in poor condition, so it has a 20% chance of the battery working. Cool. So what did I say it was? It was a energy cell charger. %20 chance to work. Okay. Next up we rolled for Flimsy Steve, so let's see what Flimsy Steve gets. I guess we could just use all of these dice together. It's going to be 90, which is medical equipment. Nope, it's a robotic unit. Fuck. And then we roll a D. Okay. The first D6 indicates base 1 through 6 a second. If a 1 or a 2... On the second D6, if a 1 or a 2 rolled, the first dice is read normally. Oh, okay. Oh. Well, we rolled a 2 5, so it'd be a 7, so it's also in poor condition. Robot. 20% chance to work. And then I have to figure out what the fuck it's talking about here. All right, so we're gonna roll 2d6. Okay, so 6. On a... Wait, how the fuck did you roll an 8 on a 6-sided die? The first dice indicates base 1 to 8. These are D8s. 7 3. Okay. If a... What in the fuck? All right. The first indicates a base 1 through 8. Okay, so the first number is just 7. And then if it's a 3 or 4, then the dice is read normally. On a 5 or 6, add 8 to the first number. Okay, so it'd be 10 then. Which is a medical robotoid. Okay. I don't know what makes it a robotoid rather than just a robot, but sure. What a weird system of getting people to roll dice. They just like did not think about that at all, did they? And then lastly, we have Hank Kill, who has 19. 19 will give us a gun. Fuck yeah. Rifle. And the rifle he gets is 1d4. 4. Fusion rifle. And then we need to roll 2d6 to see how fucked up it is. 9. It's in fair condition, has a 40% chance of working. Okay, it's all right. And how do I use this chart? Uh-oh. Once they've found an artifact, they will not automatically know what it is or how it works. It is quite possible for one to fiddle with an artifact for weeks and never determine what it is, or an extreme detonate a bomb, eliminating everything with 100 meters. The 3 following charts are used to simulate experimentation with the artifacts. Place a marker on the space marked S. Generate a number between 1 and 10. Move the marker to the next space indicated. Okay. Game category? Yeah, I guess I could change it to tabletop sim. So D10. The system's weird. I don't know if I'd use it, but okay, 5. All right, so we start at 5. All right. Moving the space marked with the skull and crossbone means that the player's hurt himself or one or more of his companions if it is possible harm anyone with that item. All right, so we'll just go in order of what the items are. So we have a situation where you have like a snaky fella licking a fan, not knowing what it is, and getting his tongue caught in the fan or something, let's say. 5 rolls on any of the above charts require the player to do nothing else but concentrate and manipulate the artifact for an hour. Each additional player concentration adds 1. Okay. Well, what would be my minus or plus to this based on the fact that I have some intelligence? Let's find out. Intelligence. H point under... Subtract 1 for each point under 7. Does anyone have intelligence less than 7? We got intelligence 12 on Sickly Joe, we got intelligence 12 on Flimsy Steve, and we got intelligence 15 on Hank Kill. Anyone got over 15? Also no. Okay. So everyone has like no benefit to this roll. So I rolled a 5. So we start at the A. 1 through 5, we move here. And how many times do we roll this? It says 5 times? Oh, okay. So we'd roll the chance on whether or not it functions after we figure out what it is. Okay. So 5 puts us here. 9 would put us here. 3 would put us here. 3 again would put us there. Oh, wait, no, we're supposed to start at S. Okay. 5 would put us there. 3 would put us there. 9 would put us there. 3 would put us back there. 3 again would put us back there. And then 4 would also put us back there. So we wouldn't have any idea where the fuck we were going. Okay. Let's assume we know what the fuck these things are. And we have a fusion rifle. Projectile of 2 beams of intensity 18 radiation. Damage inflicted as determined on the radiation hazard matrix. Power source is an atomic energy cell. Battery life is 10 shots. The rifle must be connected to a converter by 1.5 meters of cable. So we don't have that. Oh, okay. No, we have that pack. Okay. Are you meaning to show and look at the... Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I was. Yeah, I was looking at this chart here, and I'm having a little bit of trouble figuring out what it does. So I ended up getting here with my rolls. Hey, the World Tree, Yggdrasil. Sorry about that, Shadow Wolf. Thank you for calling that out. Oh, right, you still can't see it. I didn't hit the button. Yeah, I got stuck here. I went from S to there with my rolls. The system is interesting, but it does mean that a majority of the time you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. Honestly, this game doesn't seem that bad. It does seem like your characters are fairly killable. So we have no armor. All right, let's roll and see what the enemy horse person has as a weapon. 81. 81 is a robotic unit, and let's assume that it knows what it is. So we run roll 2d6. It says 2d6 asterisks. The first die. Okay. 6. Add 6. Add 12 to the number rolled on the first dice. So the first dice is read normally, and the second dice is a 5. So 12 plus 6 is 18. It's a think tank. All right, we know what it is. And then roll a 32 on the damage. Or wait, no, that's not how you do it. You roll 2d6 for the damage thing as well. 45, which means that it, or 4 and 5 would be 9, which means that it's in fair condition. Caves of Quid would be a banger stream. The number of requests I'm getting for it leads me to believe that I must have to do this at some point. I'll look into it. All right. Think tank 40% chance of working. What is a think tank? Robotic units. We got a medical robotoid. Oh, experience. Yeah, that's a good question. How do we gain experience? As players characters and creatures adventure through the Gamma World campaign, they'll gradually gain a number of experience points. This is a numerical expression of being's knowledge of the experiments. Similar in nature as the definition, but must be earned by players in the game as they progress. All new characters start the campaign with no experience. Players receive points for specific actions during the game that are added to the total. The main advantage of experience is effect in combat. Beings with high experience will have better odds of success. The results of the spiral effect. Successful combatants receive experience points, which contribute to them being more successful, and so on and so forth. Another advantage is just it buffs your basic abilities. The final use of the experience is determining on the referee's decision. After each session of play or interval specified by the referee, such as 1 game week, experience points are rewarded as the following matter. 1 for combat, 2 for acquiring items, and 3 for outstanding actions. Combat's divided evenly between all participants. Experience is awarded for only valuable items only. Okay, that makes sense. And what's the last thing? And then you pick up these items and you get a shit ton of experience for finding them. Okay. So it literally is just go around looting. Oh, and then they've got an example of a campaign that they've done. All right. All right, so everyone's just using their fists, which means that we need to roll up the stats for the centaur guy. I guess? Does it have his physical attack strat? No. Okay, so I guess we gotta roll his dex. So his dex is gonna be 15. Horse. Or no, we dropped the lowest, which would be 12. Dex 12. How do you do combat? What all stats do we need? I know we need dex, but what else? Okay. Combat is a general term used for things. Combat melee round. Each round lasts 10 seconds. Movement during combat is generally not a factor of importance. The ability to perform small actions is determined by dexterity. This is assumed by the combat matrices and bonuses. As a guideline, normal movement rate for a man with normal encumbrance is 12 meters per second per turn. A charge move is double that. A trot is 2/3 of a charge move. Okay, so like... What? $12 versus a movement of 18. So I guess every square is like... We'll say every square is like 6, so the player characters can move 2 squares, and then everyone and the horse guy can move 3 because he's fast. That seems to make sense. That would divide the squares up evenly. You cannot fire a gun while trotting or charging. Combat. Okay. Series of small segments in time in which each round is allowing one attack or counterattack occurring in each round. Melee must be imagined as if it was occurring in slow motion so the referee can work out the effects of each action. When a group of player characters is attacked by several creatures, all may be involved in melee, but each participant's actions must be announced to the effect and calculated one at a time. The effects is imagined as if they were happening at once. The referee has determined who starts the combat. See, surprise strike first. The attackers. Okay, so. God damn, this is. Seems like we would start off with. Yeah, let's say that we come across something. Huh? Where's the matrix for this? The hooves seem very good. It did say that there was like a chart for that, right? Yeah, it is funny to hear it explained in layman's terms. Like, oh, combat is like it's actually happening very fast, but we're doing it in slow motion for the sake of like making things easy. Okay. The referee rolls a single 6-sided die twice, once for the player characters and once for the being encountered. A roll of a 1 or 2 indicates surprise. If the 2 dice rolls indicate both are surprise or neither was surprise, that die side that had the higher die roll is the option to strike first. Okay, cool. So the left one will be the player characters, the right one will be the horse. Okay, so we both rolled 5. That's exactly the same thing. So no one is surprised. Okay, so we would roll a d6 for each side of the conflict. This is the initiative die roll. If you have a high enough dex, which literally no one does because it's almost impossible to get high enough dex or any stat that matters. The only one who has a stat that's over 15 is Sicky Joe with his charisma and Hank Kill with his constitution, neither of which work in this way. So okay. One to determine if the target is hit, and okay, so I guess we don't really like move into combat. We're just already in combat. Okay, well, everyone's just kind of already in a melee, I guess. And Hank Kill, you have 51 HP. Sicky Joe has 42. And then the worm guy has 27. All right. An initiative roll is made for both sides, and the second round begins. Some rare instances will use an extremely powerful weapon. Okay. All right, so we roll 2 dice and compare that on. Okay, so everyone's just using their like hands for this, excluding I guess Hank Kill, who's gonna have a fusion rifle, which will work 40% of the time. So he's gonna try and use it every round. And I assume you just roll to see if it works every round. And we'll assume it has enough for 10 shots. Mental combat. Armor, okay. Paws, teeth, gun, and wiggle. Meat. All right. Use of the attack matrices. Okay. To determine if a physical or mental attack is successful on a physical attack matrix, cross-index the weapon class of the attacker with the armor class of the target. If the result of the number of the attacker must equal or exceed on a roll of a 20-sided dice in order to hit the target. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna roll initiative again so that way someone can get a first turn. Okay, so characters are getting a first turn. And our attack on Sicky Joe is gonna be 1. And the horse's armor class is some amount that I've already forgotten. I think I wrote it down on the fella. 7. Okay. So armor class 7 versus weapon class 1. So weapon class 1 versus armor class 17 or 7. We need a 14 or better to hurt him. So that would be a fail. Okay. The Matrix is fucked, but like it kind of makes sense once you get over like rolling a Matrix instead of like. All right. So then Flimsy Steve also has 1. Kind of weird that physical strength has no bearing on this. Oh, okay. Attacks by plant or animal mutations without weapons. Attacker's number of hit dice. Wump. Okay. This is weird. They were still just kind of figuring stuff out then. Yeah, I don't have like horns or anything that would give me an attack advantage, so I don't think I get to use that. Flimsy Steve, just roll a die, I guess. 12. So 12 is still not going to beat it because we need a 14. But the fusion gun, assuming it works, it's really good. And I'm going to tell you what it does once I remember how to find that out. Fusion gun. This is Hank Kill. Fusion rifle. All right, so let's roll to see if it works. If we roll a 40 or lower, it'll work. It works, okay. And roll damage as 2 beams of intensity 18 radiation. All right, so let's go look at the radiation chart. Where the fuck is that, though? Ah, okay. Radiation 18 versus the enemy's constitution. All right, so let's roll up the fella's constitution. Constitution 8. So in order for us to be a character with Constitution 8, what do we roll? Radiation. There are many ways to encounter radiation in Gamma World. Large areas of the referee's map should be coded as having residual radiation and intensities. In some of these places, it's a very early RPG. It actually seems fairly playable. The effects of the radiation are figured in terms of exposure for 1 melee round. Okay. So radiation 18 versus 7. D. D indicates that the victim has a 20% chance of receiving a mutational defect and an 80% chance of death. Okay, so we'll roll this twice to see what happens to it. Okay, so that's over 20, so it just dies. Okay. I mean, if I understood that right, that gun just obliterates the horse guy. All right, combat done. I mean, I guess that's how guns work. You shoot something and it usually goes down in 1 hit. If it hadn't died, I want to see what mutation it would have gotten. So it's a animal creature. So let's see how we do that again. I believe it's on a percentage die roll. Well, you don't know if it would be what kind, right? Hey, Toph. I think I'm good, but I'm just... this is interesting as a like, concept. And it came up with, like, interesting fellas. It's not like an elf. It's like worm guy, jackal, and totally normal human with a carapace. And totally normal human with a carapace has a gun, and the worm is the most hateable creature ever. Just like it has a psychic aura of just being ass. Like a total shithead that everyone hates. Alright, so coin flip then. Let's say on evens it's physical. Okay, it's a physical mutation, and it's going to be 2d10, and then while that's rolling, I'm going to go check and see. So this is assuming I hadn't just killed it in 1 shot. I want to see what the radiation would have done. Right, it's an animal, and I rolled a 95, which is pick any mutation. So you could just pick to have heightened something or other, just better toughness. Wings. We could just give it wings all of a sudden. I would imagine the DM picks. Yeah, I wouldn't imagine that you would really be able to generate wings on the spot. But I mean, like, that, like, you could shoot someone with a radiation gun and perhaps not kill them. And just use that as a way of getting new mutations. Seems a little risky. What's a constitution gotta be to not fucking die to a strength 18? Constitution 11, 11, and 16. So 11 versus 18 is pretty much assured death. Yeah. Basically, this will probably kill anything. That is a wild gun. How much damage would the horse guy have dealt? It's something about like this era had this style of font and this style of drawings. Well, it seems like radiation damage just ignores anything and everything about their armor class. But let's say that the guy has a physical attack stat of, it would be, how do you figure out physical attack? Weapon class of the weapon. Okay, well, he doesn't have a defined weapon, so he just doesn't have one, I guess. I kind of like the discovery system on the weapons. It's kind of neat. All right, it's gonna try and bite one of them. Let's roll a d3 to figure out which one. So 1 and 2 is gonna be Sickly Joe. Flimsy Steve is 3 through 4. Okay, so it's going on to Sickly Joe, and Sickly Joe is gonna get attacked, and Sickly Joe has an armor rating of, he didn't bring armor, so he doesn't have an armor rating. So no armor, just regular ass hide. So no protection, 10 versus 1. 1 versus 10, so you need to roll a 9 or higher. 18. Okay, so that's over a 9, so that means that it succeeds, and then you'd roll 3d6 for the bite damage. It's 12. And so Sickly Joe would go down to 30 health and potentially get a disease. Yeah, this system seems to work just fine, honestly. It's really not that bad. I kind of like it, actually. What was the name of that game you said that this is like? Oh, hey, hold on. Valuable assistance from Gary Gygax was involved. Cades of Quid. It's nice that they have all these charts in the back so you can actually fucking find them. One thing you'll notice that's not here, which I'm gonna just double check and actually make sure that that's the case. Oh. Thank you, Master of Toonfu. One thing you'll notice that's not here is a character sheet. They didn't do that. They didn't do that until like the second edition of Gamma World, which was like the middle of Advanced D&D. So like if you wanted to get like a scannable, like, I mean, it didn't even have a scannable thing in the back. You just sort of like go for it and hope that you get like a good, like you just make up your own somehow. Like that's such a basic thing to have, a character sheet, you know? But they just expect you to show up with like a piece of regular notebook paper. There's no fancy like, I mean, there's not too many stats here, really. And there's no wizarding. You have like one sort of spell, which might be like you have a psychic power or something. As far as like system goes, this seems fairly functional. I don't know if I like the weird attack grid, the matrices. But also it seems like characters just come and go. It also is kind of weird that you're expected to have stats for some of these creatures. Like constitution. Like, what's the constitution of a horse? The attack grid is just THAC 0, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. Kind of glad that we got away from this system because that's just awkward. What is this? Any flip basic. This is riffs. We'll have to check in and see if riffs is worth doing, but thank you for that, Shadow Wolf. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and then actually let me see how much Caves of Quid is, because that might be a determining factor as well. $20. I'm gonna have to wait until next payday to buy any games, guys. I'm sorry. Like, we've got a fairly decent amount of debt from moving up here. But the car did sell, so once that actually hits our bank account, we'll be happy campers. You don't have to buy it for me. It's fine. Why don't we do some you can play Hammer Fight, it's free, sure. We could play Hammer Fight. You guys want Hammer Fight? I think I've already downloaded it. I haven't. We'll go and start installing it. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back, and I'll see you guys in a second. Give you a real 2-minute break, and we'll come back with Hammerfall. Or Hammer Fight. BRB. 2 minutes. BRB. Alright, I am back. Caves of Quid and Cogmind are peak. Let's get back into it. I'm gonna go ahead and save these character sheets just in case if anyone's interested, but Sticky Joe, Flimsy Steve, and Hank Kill. Amazing. Gotta still, yeah. I already have Cogmind, yeah. It was fun, but it was a little bit like difficult for people to get into. Did you publish the character sheet anywhere? No, I didn't. I don't know where you would publish something that says like a 8-inch cock with a 5-inch diameter or some shit. Yeah, this went a lot faster in the Fatal character generation. Like, even with it being arcane and not something I was really familiar with, we were able to generate 3 characters in like a quarter of the time. And I would say they're as interesting as the characters from or the character we made and less rapey, which is interesting. No piss kink though, but I mean honestly, you could roll the fatal kink table for any game. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and restart the VOD on YouTube. So give me half a second to do that. Here's a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Actually, let me watch it on YouTube and make sure that we're good on that. You're in a motel. Well, welcome.